Hello everyone. Today is May 15th, 2019. It is 5 o'clock p.m. and it is a 69-degree day right now. Mostly cloudy skies. I will be doing a walk along the entirety of Steinway Street in Astoria, Queens. This is the southern end of Steinway Street at Northern Boulevard and 39th Street, where the bridge goes over the Sunnyside Yards to get into Sunnyside. Across the street from me used to be a gas station, and now it is a vacant property. And I'll be starting my walk now. Here's a business called the Esquina Tequila, a Mexican restaurant coming soon. Steinway Street is about 2.5 miles long, running from Northern Boulevard to Berrian Boulevard in the northern part of Astoria, Queens. It was actually named after the famous cabinet maker, German immigrant Henry Engelhard Steinway, when he had a business in 1853 on Varick Street in the West Village. That's when he founded Steinway and Sons, the famous piano company. And that location in the West Village proved to be so popular that the company needed more space. So he decided to move the company to the end of Steinway Street. Look at this car. To the end of Steinway Street, and till this day, that's where Steinway and Sons Piano Company is located. So this is 36th Avenue. So the company Steinway and Sons was purchased on 400 acres of farmland. Was built on 400 acres of farmland, and it became the Steinway Village. And in this village, most of the company's employees lived and worked there. It even had its own factory, post office, parks, and housing. Sadly, nothing really remains of the village itself. It's all been developed now, but there still is the historic Steinway Mansion where the Steinway family lived, which still remains standing and it's in great shape. I'll be showing it at the end of this video. These grates underneath me are the subway lines for the M and R trains. There's only one subway station on Steinway Street, which is between 34th Avenue and Broadway.
Listen, if I'm trusting you guys, you gotta also trust my way. You know what I mean?
Here's a billiards and cafe, the Steinway Billiards. Many famous billiards players have competed in this hall. Across the street from me is P.C. Richard and Son. P.C. Richard and Son sells many things ranging from electronics, appliances, and even mattresses now. So these people are waiting for the bus, the Q101 bus. I am coming up on 35th Avenue now, and 35th Avenue famously hosts New York's movie studio, the Kaufman Astoria Studios. It's also home to the Museum of the Moving Image, and they host everything from movies to film reels to moving pictures, anything to do with the moving image. Here's the Metropolitan Lumber, Plumbing, and Hardware Store. Once I pass 34th Avenue, I'll be entering into the commercial district of Steinway Street. Here's some offices for rent if you're interested at the Steinway Plaza. Steinway Street has changed dramatically throughout the years due to the frequent turnover and high rents. Many businesses have moved out and many have moved in. I've seen the most change in Astoria along Steinway Street throughout the years. This building to the right of me over here used to be 1 stories, and now there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 floors. Just to show you the dramatic change in this neighborhood. I remember this used to be a boxing gym. Here is Rite Aid Pharmacy. This used to be home to Blockbuster Video back in the 80s and 90s. It was a really big video entertainment store and rental place. And look at that, across the street there's a historic sign. The canopy is being replaced, so now it's showing as the Auto Parts Place Inc. So now I just crossed over into the commercial district of Steinway Street. This is Astoria's biggest and largest shopping street. You'll see why when I continue down the streets to the end. This is a Dollar Tree store where most products are $1. Steinway Street caters to people of many different income levels. Here's a kickboxing place. Someone's blasting music out of their vehicle very loudly. These mid-block crosswalks are fairly new after the local politician claimed it unsafe for pedestrians to walk to one end of the block or the other to cross Steinway Street. It's more convenient just to have these mid-block crosswalks because people will tend to cross in the middle of the street anyway. It is a fairly long distance between the ends of the block, so I think it was a good move. Here's the Broadway exit for the Steinway Street subway station. It is a local stop served by the M and R trains. Occasionally the E and F trains, the Queens Boulevard Express trains, will stop here as well. Here is a very famous Colombian bar and restaurant called ⁴ᴷ⁶⁷. This place gets a lot of attention whenever there are soccer or football matches involving Hispanic countries and teams that are well liked. A very famous place for the locals to hang out, especially at nighttime. Here is Broadway. Not the same Broadway that is present in Manhattan, but we have Queens's Broadway. One of two Broadways, I should say. The other Broadway is in a place called Ramblersville in Old Howard Beach. But this Broadway is also a large shopping district, home to many restaurants, stores, and other places of interest. So now you can see the very different amount of stores that Steinway Street is offering here, except many, uh-oh, there goes a car accident, car crash. Okay, enough of that, but people need to learn to be careful of driving around here. So here's a store that may be going out of business soon. My footage won't be any good to the parties in question anyway, because my camera wasn't pointed that way, but I definitely heard it. But there were many stores for rent back there and some more stores that are closing. Here's a store that has its gate completely rolled down, even though it's the middle of the day and should be open right now. Another store that's discounted. Across the street from me is the Gap factory store. Used to be the full Gap retail store, but that's moved to the other side. Here's a different sound. Here's the Prince Tea House. Prince Tea House famously comes from the name of the same store on Prince Street in Flushing, Queens. I just wanted to push that button back there because it's kind of like an ongoing thing with my channel. That particular style of talking crosswalk I haven't really seen too often around the city.
Más despacio.
This large store across the street, the ⁴ store, has gone through many different changes. It's reopened and closed as different businesses throughout the years. There really hasn't been a business that has been there for a long time. Across the street from me is the Banana Republic factory store. It used to be Gap Kids, but I guess the Gap company decided to bring in the Banana Republic factory store. Here's CVS Pharmacy. There's many businesses here, including the Model Sporting Goods store, Taco Bell across the street. This used to be a costume shop, but it couldn't stay here. Now looks like the store is vacant. I remember it used to be home of the KB toy store. Here is the Payless Shoe Company. I believe most of the stores will be closing for good since they declared bankruptcy. So that's another business that's definitely going away. These are the talking crosswalk buttons I'm more familiar with.
Wait.
You can get many different pieces of clothing here for very cheap. Many boutique stores and different clothing stores. Here's Edible Arrangements, Dunkin' Donuts, New York and Company. There's a linens and curtains shop across the street called Fantasy. That store has been there for a while. Here's a wax center, the European Wax Center, the Astoria, New York Furniture Store, and here is the famous Rizzo's Pizza, 60-cent slice promotion right now. They've been in Astoria since the 1950s. This Bank of America on the corner of Steinway Street and 30th Avenue is just a place for ATMs. There isn't any branch here, which I find a little bit strange. But this is 30th Avenue, what I consider to be the heart of Astoria. I did a narrated walking video of 30th Avenue on my channel if you'd like to check it out, where I walk the entire distance. Across the street from me is Radio Shack, but Radio Shack also declared bankruptcy. Those gates are shuttered. Here's a martial arts place, Taekwondo. Here is Benjamin Moore Paint and Supply Store. Here's a discount store. Here's Jackson Hewitt Tax Service, as well as a fish store.
60 degrees in Blakely.
So I'm about to take you into a place that is completely different from the rest of Astoria and probably even New York City. This is the start of Little Egypt from 28th Avenue to Astoria Boulevard. Why is this car reversing into the crosswalk? I'm not taking a chance walking behind it. On this stretch of Steinway Street, you can find a lot of Mediterranean food, Egyptian food, places from Morocco, Egypt, Northern Africa, and many, many different hookah lounges. The nightlife in this area is absolutely incredible. Here's a 99-cent pizza restaurant. This is the Crystal Hookah Lounge, the famous Crystal Lounge, with a full bar and food. I don't think you can get a more concentrated amount of hookah lounges anywhere in the United States. This is probably the place to go. There's Mazag El Khayyam Coffee. Here's a Muay Thai place. They sound very hard at work. Here is Sissy McGinty's. This is a meat market and traditional Egyptian supply store. A lot of halal food around here. What's great about New York City is you can venture around to a different part of the city and completely transform yourself into a different part of the world. Just over here, the aroma is incredible from these hookah lounges. Here's the Istanbul Lounge. Dream Cafe Lounge, Mediterranean Imports. The Via Restaurant and Lounge. Have to be 21 or over. Believe me, these places are very strict about the age, because the city is very strict on the age. Drinking age is 21 and over, so that's what they go by.
I mean, that's what he...
Here's the Taj Mahal Hookah Lounge. Here's another general supply store. Now, where I'm about to pass claims to be the first hookah store in the United States, the Egyptian coffee shop. This is the first hookah lounge. Here's Sultana Cafe. And Matig, I think I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Okay, and then she just continues doing whatever she does in the house.
If you didn't believe me when I said Mediterranean and Moroccan cuisine, there it is right there. Little Morocco. Hummus, baba ganoush, falafel sandwich, all very delicious. Here's homemade baklava. Here's another grocery store, a halal grocery store. Across the street from me is a place of worship that is undergoing construction right now. Here's Mediterranean seafood. The Poisette pastry shop. So now I just reached the end of Little Egypt at Astoria Boulevard South. I also walked Astoria Boulevard in Astoria if you'd like to see the video. Astoria Boulevard runs from Berrian Boulevard all the way to Northern Boulevard. People are such bad drivers. The rules are in New York is that the car merging into the lane must yield to the traffic going straight, and that didn't happen right here. I assume that's what happened with the two vehicles that were involved with the collision earlier. One was trying to get out of a parking space and wasn't paying attention, and that's when the collision happened. There's Amtrak ahead of me. Amtrak is the regional commuter railroad in New York City. Beneath me is the Grand Central Parkway. The end of the Grand Central Parkway is the RFK Bridge, previously known as the Triborough Bridge. You can also take the Grand Central Parkway to LaGuardia Airport, and it eventually becomes the Northern State Parkway as you get closer to Long Island. So now I'm crossing into the quieter part of Steinway Street now. This would be the Ditmars Steinway portion of Steinway Street. And look at this, we're not done with Little Egypt yet. Here's Alumbi Hookah Lounge, or hookah bar, I should say. I don't really know what the difference between a hookah lounge and a hookah bar is, but maybe a hookah lounge is where you just lounge around and sit, and a bar is just a bar where you have stuff at a bar. But I guess bars could be lounges as well. Let me know what you think. Here's the Sports Bar and Billiards Olympia Lounge. And look at this, a surprise. I see at the top of the Amtrak Railroad, there are some monk parrots on the top. Those are actually wild monk parrots that have taken residence in the Amtrak so very interesting. I know my camera's too far out for you to be able to see them, but it's very interesting to know that there are some wild parrot populations living natively in New York City, even though most of the time you'll see birds like pigeons and mourning doves and blue jays, red cardinals and robins. There are other more exotic birds that are living in New York City. Here's a motor vehicle repair shop. Now Steinway Street is becoming more residential. This is definitely stretching Little Egypt a little bit far, but there's Roxy's, the Roxy's restaurant and hookah lounge. The main part of Little Egypt, though, ends at Astoria Boulevard. Here's a playground. I don't know the name of this playground. Oh, there it is. It's Ditmars Playground. Makes sense because we are in the Ditmars area of Astoria. Here's a real estate office, although it looks like it does need some more style on the outside. The plants are very nice though. But if you want a bare bones real estate office, there's one if you need one. A music school, very fitting because we are approaching the end of Steinway Street, where the Steinway and Sons Piano Factory is. Here's one of Astoria's main streets, Ditmars Boulevard. I've also done walks of Ditmars Boulevard if you'd like to check them out on my channel. Here's the Victory Garden Cafe. Now this part of Steinway Street is all residential. There's many nice looking front lawns here. You can tell people take a lot of pride and effort into their front lawns. I wonder what these traffic cones are for. Looks like people are putting out their recycling collections right now. Most likely collection day is tomorrow for these residents. Here's a laundromat, wash, dry, and fold. There's some restaurants and stores across the street, a realty company, Cafe Milan, and Pizzeria Apicius. Looks like someone's using a trademark here. GoPro Plumbing and Heating. As you know, I'm filming with a GoPro camera right now. And it looks like this is their main store right here. So there's a GoPro Plumbing and Heating place, as well as a GoPro video company. And GoPro is also across the street. So here's 20th Avenue. I am almost at the end of Steinway Street. The Steinway and Sons Piano Factory is only 2 blocks away from me. Even though it's not on Steinway Street, Steinway Piano Factory is actually located near 37th Street and 38th Street. And 38th Street becomes Steinway Place for one block where the Steinway Piano Factory is located, preserving the Steinway name, while Steinway Street goes on to Berrian Boulevard. This is the Steinway Industrial Business Zone. Here's another business that has closed at the end of Steinway Street. So even at the far end of Steinway Street, it's hard to make ends meet and for businesses to survive. So here's Rienzi, the pasta company. So I just made a left on 19th Avenue, making my way towards 38th Street. Very soon we'll be able to see the Steinway Piano Company. Here's 38th Street. Across the street is Steinway Place. So here's the Steinway Sons Piano Company. So my camera battery conveniently died right in front of Steinway Sons. But the piano company has been around since 1853. That's a very, very long time. Here's the entrance to Steinway Sons. Very impressive looking entrance and building. So now I'm going to go back onto Steinway Street to finish the rest of the street, which is only one more block, and then walk on 41st Street to show you the Steinway Mansion, which is the oldest home in Astoria. So here's Steinway Street and 19th Avenue. I'll be making my way to Berrian Boulevard. I believe that this section of Steinway Street past Berrian Boulevard didn't exist before. The water line used to come right up to Berrian Boulevard. But due to landfill, the area has been completely extended. This also seems to be a historic home. Look at how old the brickwork on this home is. (1832) Steinway Street. Here's a power company at the end of Steinway Street. So this is the end of Steinway Street. And now I'll be walking on 41st Street up a hillside. There's actually a blind hill there, so there's a sign warning people to be careful of the blind hill. The mansion itself is hidden very well, so even if you were to drive up this block, you'll very easily miss it if you're not careful. I'll actually walk on the street to get a better view here. Does look like there's a lot of garbage over there. A big dumpster. But there's a sign, like I said, that says hill blocks view. Although the sign itself is being blocked by that gigantic vehicle, so what good is that sign if you can't even see the sign? Here is the Steinway Mansion, a very gorgeous building. It's very hard to get a glimpse of it from the same level as the building because of the fence. But it was built in 1858 by Benjamin Pike Jr. And after his death, his widow sold the building to the Steinway family. This building has actually been renovated many times. Here's the Steinway Mansion. With a beautiful bird at the top there singing. Here's a vacant lot. This street is very interesting because there are no sidewalks, or part of the street has a sidewalk, I should say. And I've always found this property very interesting, how part of the property extends into the street because it was built before New York City. I'll just turn the camera around so you see the Steinway Mansion from this side. And I'm back to 19th Avenue again. Well, I hope you enjoy this video. Make sure to give a big like, a thumbs up. It helps get my video more popular. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and stay tuned for some more videos. Catch you all next time.